Senior Life Journeys presents Carol Howell's Let's Talk Dementia, a podcast designed to help caregivers find knowledge, power, hope, and smiles in their dementia caregiving journey. Welcome to Let's Talk Dementia. Here is your host, best-selling author, Carol Howell.
Happy 2020 caregivers. Can you believe it is 2020? What happened? Time just flew by. I was thinking just yesterday that my mom's been in heaven for 7 months. And in some ways it feels like that it was just yesterday that she passed away. And in some ways I feel like it's been just years since I got to hold her or hear her say, "Pookie, get your you-know-what over here." You know, her very last sentence to me, and this is just my mama, and this is how she was in her last days, so get ready. Her very last full sentence to me was, "Pookie, get your ass over here." And I just think that's funny. You know, my mama had lost the filter to know what to say and when to say it, and my nickname's Pookie, so she said it real loud. "Pookie, get your ass over here." So you know what I did? I got my ass over there to see what Mama wanted, which was not anything important, I'm sure, but that was Mama. But, you know, our children grow up and you look at them and one minute they're, 4 years old or in the first grade, and the next thing they're graduating from college, and you go, where was I during all that? How did all that happen? But life is like that. We grow, we change, we adapt, we make steps forward, we make steps backwards, unfortunately. We go sideways a few days, but hopefully we're always moving and always growing and trying to improve ourselves and the quality of our life. And when we do that, we help others. And that's what Let's Talk Dementia is all about. If this is your first time watching this video or listening to it in podcast form and whatever of the various many mediums that's available, then I welcome you. And I hope that I will be able to bring you words of comfort and hope and joy and peace and laughter. And if there's a subject that's on your mind or a question that you have or a story you want to tell, or maybe you just need to vent, I call it verbal vomit. You just get it off your chest, then I'm here for you. And you can write me, carol@letstalkdementia.org. You also find us on Facebook at Let's Talk Dementia, so go there and like us. Go to YouTube, like us there, and subscribe. And anywhere else you find us, then do all the nice things. Leave nice words. Well, I always talk about dementia, but actually today I'm going to talk to you about Mild Cognitive Impairment, also known as MCI. And what is mild cognitive impairment? Is it the same thing as dementia or is it different? Well, mild cognitive impairment is a disorder involving problems with memory, but they are greater than normal age-related memory issues. As we age, we all forget stuff like we do. Does anybody know where my glasses are? Or we go, Does anybody know where my phone is? Where is my phone? And the whole time you've got your phone up to your ear. We do crazy stuff like that. Or you walk into the grocery store, you get your buggy, and you stand there and go, what the heck was it I was going to buy? There were 3 things on my list that I didn't write down. What did I want to buy? I'm one of these people that I will try to come up with an acronym to go with what I need to buy, like BB. The other day it was it was BBGH, and it was bananas and bread, and I don't know what this stood for, but that's how I remember it. So in my head over and over, I went BBGH to help me remember it, right? And then you get there, and sometimes you don't remember what your acronym stood for. So normal age-related changes in your memory are normal. That's okay. Dementia is not normal, and mild cognitive impairment is somewhere between the two. We've got normal age-related changes in memory, and we've got dementia, and somewhere between that we have mild cognitive impairment. Symptoms do become more noticeable, especially to the individual, more so to them probably than family. But we realize, man, I'm just having a hard time keeping things straight. So some of the common signs of mild cognitive impairment, and I'm reading to you today from the magazine Alzheimer's Today. If you guys don't get this, it's free. I highly recommend it. It's a great little magazine, and I use information quite often from there, always giving them credit for it. But they say some of the common signs of MCI, mild cognitive impairment, are forgetting things more often. Well, duh, we knew that. That's why we're talking about it. We just forget things more often than what we used to. Frequently losing train of thought. What were we talking about again? Oh yeah, MCI. You know that you just can't seem to stay on target of what it was you were talking about. Difficulty remembering scheduled appointments and or events. Um, and all of these are symptoms of dementia too, but they are not as extreme. We don't notice them quite as frequently. Challenges with navigating familiar locations or environments. Girlfriend, take me to the mall, drop me off. I am not even going to be able to find my car, but that's just Carol. I am directionally challenged. And please don't tell me to go east or west. Got no clue what that means. Increased difficulty or anxiety with making decisions, planning, or following instructions. So those are just some of the things we might look for with mild cognitive impairment. But you look for all of those things in dementia too. So how are they different then? Okay, Carol, tell us that. Good question. Glad you asked. And the difference is they do not affect the activities of daily living. Well, if you've listened to this show very many times, I've told you my acronym, BEAD, like the beads on a necklace, BEAD with a T on the end, BEAD with a T on the end, which makes my acronym spell nothing at all. But those are the activities of daily living: bathing, eating, ambulating, dressing, and toileting, BEADT. Dementia is the inability to think clearly that affects those activities of daily living. Mild cognitive impairment are issues with remembering and maybe functioning in some of those ways that we talked about in a mild way, but it does not affect the day-to-day activities of life. These folks are quite well functioning on their own, driving, going about, balancing the checkbook, doing all the things they've normally done, holding down jobs, but they just realize that there's some issues there. So now, what causes that? Well, many times mild cognitive impairment is brought on by a reversible issue, such as the side effect of a medication, or maybe a urinary tract infection, or thyroid imbalance. Depression. Depression is a very real issue in the human body. And when we think, well, I hope you're not the kind of person who thinks somebody has depression just needs to pray it off, because I'm just here to tell you that's not logical. That's like saying somebody has cancer needs to pray it off. And yes, God does heal people from cancer, but it is not an issue that you can just get over. It is something that needs treating. So keep that in mind. I know this. I've lived with this. I'm very well aware of what depression can do in a body. And in a marriage, it's very difficult. In a home, it's very hard. So those side effects that can come from depression can look much like dementia, and very often would be mild cognitive impairment. Not sleeping good. That can definitely bring about this fogginess and just not quite on your top game, not being able to think real clearly. High anxiety, or being tense or stressed out about something. You know that will do that too. So we always work best when we're fully rested and when we're fully hydrated and we're not hungry and our belly's not growling and we've are in a good mood. We're going to work better in those situations. But when all of those things are okay and we still have issues, then we need to think what's going on. Is this mild cognitive impairment, or do we have the early signs of a disease causing dementia? So, of course, what do you want to do? You want to go to the doctor. You want to say, this is what I'm dealing with. I don't want you right off the bat to tell me I have dementia. I want you to put me through the processes and through the steps to determine if maybe what I have is mild cognitive impairment, and is it caused by something that can be fixed? Is there something I need to change in my life that might help this? And do those steps to make those changes. What we know is that having mild cognitive impairment does not guarantee you'll have dementia. People will call it pre-Alzheimer's. I don't know that that's exactly accurate, although we do see many people with mild cognitive impairment who do seem to go on and have a irreversible form of dementia such as Alzheimer's, but it is not a guarantee. So don't get stressed out about that. There are people who have mild cognitive impairment, live with it all their life, and that's what they have, and it never progresses into a form of dementia. So that's good news. But always checking with your doctor. Now, in that process of going, this is what's going on in my world, and I don't care what it is that's going on in your world, in your body, I mean, what symptom you're having, what issue you're dealing with, whether it be cognitively or physical, emotional or spiritual, whatever. Let's get to the root of it. Let's see, can we discern why we're dealing with what we're dealing with, and then make appropriate changes. And as we've talked in many of our shows, and I keep reading more and more, this comes on my computer, I don't know, several times a week, that more and more studies are being done that show that 90% of Alzheimer's can be avoided. We can make huge changes in our world as far as the number of people who have Alzheimer's by the changes we make in our lifestyle and in our body, eating right, exercising. You've heard this all your life. You're like, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to eat green stuff all day long. Well, I don't want to eat green stuff all day long either, but I can tell you that since I have gone back to the vegan lifestyle, thank you, Blue Zones. Blue Zones has pushed me in that direction, that I have gone off, I'd say 75% of the medications that I was on, and that's just since July. So we're talking in 6 months' time. And I am moving and I'm exercising and I feel better and I'm a little less witchy. I'm going to say that one with a W today. My husband might use a different word. But I'm getting to the root of what's causing the issues that I was having and making those changes. And for me, it is that vegan lifestyle, eating healthy, moving, exercising, participating in things that I enjoy, like going to the pool and talking to my friend Shelby every morning and hearing her stories, sharing life, being, finding the good in life. And I know that in your caregiving journey, finding the good some days, it's just not going to happen. You're just overwhelmed with all that's going on, especially if you're in those late stages, then you're overwhelmed with caregiving. But there is still good. There is still beauty in the world. And maybe you need to take a break and step outside and get some sunshine and experience that, even if it's just for 5 minutes, finding the beauty, but taking care of yourself in the interim, not just in the interim, but every minute of every day while you're caring for somebody else, you're caring for yourself. Because we want to avoid the chances of mild cognitive impairment or physical things that might bring about dementia. Well, I hope that gives you a little more information about mild cognitive impairment that you didn't have. And I hope you have a great day. I hope 2020 is just going to knock all our socks off in a way that's happy and joyful. And that we'll grow and learn. And we will be better people and better to other people along the way. What do you think? Blessings and smiles.
Let's Talk Dementia would like to thank our sponsors, National Association of Veterans and Families. You can reach them at 800-352-2919, on the internet at www.navf.org. They speak veterans so you don't have to, and you tell them Carol sent you when you call to inquire about benefits for the veteran, the spouse of the veteran, or both. Editor Beth. You can find Ms. Beth Crosby at editorbeth.com. She is amazing at looking at what you've written and making sure it represents you well. Find her at www.editorbeth.com. And HD Imports, located on Flint Street Extension in Rock Hill, South Carolina. That's York County. 803-985-0985. They are there for the repair and maintenance of your Honda, Hyundai, Toyota, Kia. Tell them Carol sent you.
Thanks for joining us today for Carol Howell's Let's Talk Dementia. To learn more about dementia, we recommend Carol's best-selling book, also titled Let's Talk Dementia. It's available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle versions. Be sure to like Let's Talk Dementia on Facebook and leave us a kind word of review on iTunes. Remember, knowledge brings power. Power brings hope. Hope brings smiles. And we all need more smiles. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll be right here when you come back to Let's Talk Dementia.